All right. Does everybody want to come a little closer? Let's pack it in. Just have a few words I'd like to say. And then we're going to encourage anyone who wants to talk. You can come up and say a few words if you want to. You don't have to. Anthony knows in his heart that you love him. But, if you want to come up and just say that you love him, what he meant to you, whatever, a funny story. His family is watching, and they are going to get a copy of this. I know the family is really touched by the outpouring of support and showing of love that everyone had for Anthony. It's comforted them, so it's been nice to get that all to them so that they could, they're obviously, it's been tough. This has been real tough. So, got a few words to say. Excuse me while I whip this out. That is a Blazing Saddles reference, and that's for my mom who's in the audience here, who I could tell you Anthony absolutely adored. And he wrote her a very wonderful handwritten letter when my dad passed last November, and just another example of what a great man he was. Just so you guys know, he will be cremated and, per his wishes, and he will be spread in this immediate area. That's what the family has relayed to me. And so there will be probably something, depending on what they want to do, with his remains. So I just want to let everyone know that. Purpose of this day today is for all of us to get together and really just see each other and hug each other, because I know we're all hurting tremendously. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this. I'm going to try to keep it happy. There's like two ways you can do this. One way is going to be a lot of tears. One way is laughter. So obviously I'm trying to do this with some laughter. If you would ask me Tuesday if I would make it through, I would have told you hell no. However, today I'm feeling pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyone that's been through some hard times is going to know that it's like Mike Tyson hits you in the gut all of a sudden. You just drop to your knees and you start crying. I mean, it's bad. Yeah, well, for those people that don't know, Mike Tyson is the one that Jake Paul made famous. So it's great to see everyone. This is so raw right now, and just to come together so quick. I'm really appreciative of everyone being here. It's been great. I've hugged everyone, and it's just all your hugs and support is wonderful. I guess the best way to start this all off is how it all began. July 2nd, 2004. That's the day Green Turtle opened. And I did not know Anthony then. And I'll remember to this day walking through that front door and seeing some memorabilia on the wall. It was Widespread Panic in New Orleans, 2001 poster. Well, I've been to that show. So how cool is that? I was like, I got to meet this guy. I was also going through kind of an interesting time in my life. I had recently separated from my son's mother, and I was kind of rebuilding my life. And, so it was just an interesting transition in my life that I was going through when I met Anthony. And when I did meet him, and I told him, hey, I've been to that show, this and that, we started talking, and said, hey, I know Scramble Campbell. I said, have you heard of Scramble Campbell? And he said, oh, yeah. I mean, I was like fourth row behind him. I saw him paint from the beginning to the end. Oh, it was this amazing. And he goes on this long story about Scramble Campbell. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, yeah, you like him, huh? Well, I happen to have some of his paintings. I'm like friends with them. And, maybe we could put one up here. And what a great thing to get artists' paintings on walls at bars and stuff. Got to get it out there. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So the bar was completely decorated. There wasn't a spot that you could put a poster, picture, anything. Everything was all decorated. At least it looked like it was, but I guess there was spots. And so a couple days later, I came back with some paintings, and I grabbed a big one, like a really big one, medium-sized one, and a small one. And I didn't want to be too forward, like, here, hang this big-ass painting. And said, hey, hey, I got those Scramble paintings. You want to come check them out? Oh, yeah, let's go look at them. All right. I was like, which one do you want to hang? He's like, do you mind if I hang all three? I was like, hell no. So he goes and grabs behind the bar. It was a huge bass mirror. I mean, the thing was huge. I'll never forget. He lifts the thing up, just like puts it to the side and takes the biggest scramble and throws it right back right in the middle. And that spot right there was always reserved for a big scramble painting, and we would, swap it out every 4 or 5 months, and everyone just loved it. It was hilarious. Every time you took it off, people get pissed at you. Then they put the new one up, and next thing you know, it's the same thing 4 months later. People getting pissed because you're taking that one down. But anywho, that was like kind of how we met, and you could just imagine how we kind of hit it off from there. We both had a love of nature and stuff like that. But a funny little wrinkle in this whole story I'd like to point out is that so me and Devin's mom at that time, as I said, we weren't together. And we were like any divorced couple would be at that time, not really on the same page. And we used to claim separate bars, because we didn't want to see each other out. And she tried to claim Green Turtle. I said, well, no, I got Scramble's paintings there. That's my bar. So that's how I got to claim Green Turtle. But I kid, Jenny's here today, and Anthony loved her tremendously and loved Rusty. We're all a big, happy family. But those were just the early days, and I thought that was a funny story. Jenny and Rusty are a major part of my support system. And shocker, they liked Anthony too. Imagine that. I would often describe Anthony, and I've told this to his face, that he is the combination of Ben Franklin, Jack Kerouac, and Eddie Vedder. Okay? And the reason why I got those three guys is Ben Franklin, it was the civic duty that he took pride in. It was our founding fathers, the principles of our founding fathers, he took to heart. And he believed in the American spirit, and he believed in our country tremendously. So that's where I get Ben Franklin from. Eddie Vedder, music, obviously. Music's a big part of his life. But I pick Eddie Vedder not because we listen to Pearl Jam all the time, but I pick Eddie Vedder because of who Eddie Vedder was as a musician. He obviously gives back to the community, and I know Anthony had a tremendous amount of respect for him. When Anthony was younger, he was working at a surf camp, Pasquid Surf Camp in California. And they do a event every year where they take autistic kids out and catch waves with them. And a lot of volunteers would come in, a lot of celebrities would come in. And as he described it, you had those celebrities that are there lining up the cameras, getting the photo shoots. And Eddie Vedder's back there changing adult diapers so these parents can have some time off. And he respected the hell out of Eddie Vedder and what he represented. Jack Kerouac, well, that is because he is a wanderer. And, he's got that whole attitude of your home is in your head. You make, being in rhythm with the earth and everything like that, and just being able to be free and live for that day today is where I get Jack Kerouac from. In his book bag, he had this traveling book bag that he was using recently. He had a copy of the Dharma Bums, and I just had been mentioning to my son, Devin, that I wanted him to read that book. I haven't read it in a while, and I want to read it again. And it was just fitting that he had a Jack Kerouac book in his book bag. So it brought a smile on my face when I saw that. He was a second father to my son, Devin. And, my heart goes out to Devin. I know he's going through a lot. Anthony and I, we were like always together, always cooking and stuff like that. And, he really was a major part in Devin's life. It was good for Devin to hear some of the advice coming from someone, not just his father. So, so he was a second father to him, but he never disciplined him. That was for sure. And just another, Jack Kerouac, yesterday's already happened, tomorrow's not guaranteed, so just don't shit on today, enjoy today, A couple things about Anthony's character. He never had Facebook, and he only got an Instagram 2 years ago, and that's because we made him. Megan. Right? We sat there and we opened up an account for him on Instagram. Turns out he loved the damn thing and started posting all the time, but never had social media. and particularly Facebook. And I bring that up because he also never forgot a birthday. And I can't remember birthdays, and I'm on Facebook. And, of course, he would hit you up any Jerry's birthday, any Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, all the holidays. He was just thoughtful that way, and that's just the man he was. I also have a funny story. And this goes to his character, too. The first Shrimp Fest. I don't know if anyone remembers this. The first Shrimp Fest he had. Killed it all weekend, like everyone, who has a bar in Fernandina on Shrimp Fest. Killed it. So what does he do on Sunday? Where most business owners are just looking to keep on filling up the coffers, he decides to close down private party, locals only. All right? And we just threw down. And I don't know if he charged for a beer that whole day. I think it was the honor system, And that's his, first year being here. I mean, it just goes, yeah, well, there it goes into there. But it's just amazing. That was a good time. Anthony could talk to anyone. He really could. He could talk to a well-respected lawyer or a woolly mammoth coming off tour, and he could talk to them both the same. And not only that, he could bridge the two together and probably get the two talking. He was a person that brought people together. If our friendship was a band, he would be Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir. I always took him as being the lead front man. I tried to take more Phil's role and be off to the side, but always in tune. The business plan to open Dog Star was pretty damn simple. You could write it on a bar napkin. Open a bar with Anthony. It really is that simple. He has such a following. He's so well liked that you could bank your business on it. When it comes to naming a business or setting kind of an ambience and how a business, he's a master at it. We would go to bars all the time and have lunch or whatever, and we would nitpick the place, good or bad, and just be like, this is wrong, the lighting should be like this. I mean, it was just like a hobby we did, but he was a master. And yet, he was great at naming. He named the Dog Star, named the Green Turtle. So it was a talent he really had. Anthony really was a good wingman. That is for sure. And he made me look good. So I appreciate that. And when I was courting my wife, I did meet her outside the bar, but when I met her, hey, I'm going to be a Green Turtle this Friday, So, and then that's where we started talking and hitting it off. But, he made me look good. Believe me, when Stephanie showed up, he was right there with a beer for her, probably said, made me look better than I was probably. I'd like everyone to kind of just take a second and really absorb and think about this. And I know everyone has, but it is truly amazing what he has done with the Green Turtle and for Fernandina Beach, the music scene and the culture, particularly. There's people that have moved here because of this culture that was all brought about with the birth of the Green Turtle. When he opened this place, there was a lot of people that said to him, hey, yeah, it's a good idea, but I don't know how many barefoot hippies are on this island. This island wasn't really known for this cultural scene of really being appreciative of music and stuff like that. It was a little bit more country, rock and roll, and then, of course, O'Kane's is a good Irish bar, like every town has to have. But it was only after he started bringing in the music and the people started coming where everyone realized what a magical place this town is and what it can really be. I think it really met its full potential after that. But literally, marriages were formed here by people meeting here. Children were born out of those marriages. So the ripple effect is massive if you really want to think about it. When it comes down into the history books of Fernandina, and especially the music scene, you cannot talk about it without mentioning Anthony or the Green Turtle. Amen to that. and along that line, one of the sweetest things I ever heard at a funeral was Joy Brown when she mentioned how, Donald gave her the greatest gift of all, and that was her son, Trip. And I saw Joy today. I was able to tell her that. And, that was a powerful moment that I'll never forget. And, Anthony left us the Green Turtle as his kind of child, and that's what he left for us. I'm real thankful for the time I've had with him. Obviously upset and sad about missing him and my kids not getting any more of him and stuff. But every time I think about that, I just try to remember how fortunate I am to have him for as long as I did. Since his passing, I've received a ton of emotional support, and I appreciate everyone who's reached out. It really does mean a lot. I mean, it's amazing. Can't even express, how much I'm thankful for that. I have collected all of his stuff this week, and it turns out I'm getting a lot of my T-shirts back. So I'm like, oh shit, okay. Also, this man has a backpack for every occasion. Women like shoes. Anthony, backpacks. This guy's got a backpack for everything.
How many dead shirts?
Boxes. Half of them. But he did also give out backpacks as gifts, and that's because he really did like backpacks, but he also wanted you to use them. He wanted you to go. He wanted you to travel. He wanted you to see things. And that's the person he was, So always remember that about him. That's why we, obviously, we're giving away the state park. I went hiking with him all the time. He loved hikes. We talk about his hikes all the time. And, with that being said, he did walk a lot. His health wasn't all that bad. So we encourage everyone to go get that heart checked out. If you could take anything away from this, please just go get checked out. He had the Widowmaker heart attack, so it was sudden and quick, but there's not too much warning signs. So please, everyone, just do that. Well, Anthony, I'll miss everything that we used to do together. And we used to cook a lot in the kitchen. And when we did that, we would practice either our Italian accent, which would be very Tony Soprano based, or we would do our Irish brogue, which we tried to copy after Spade McQuaid, he used to play all the time. And we would do our best Irish brogue or our Jamaican patois. So, we had our little things back and forth. We're probably, we coined the term Taco 3000 because we'd have tacos at least once a week, and that 3000 moniker has gone into a lot of other stuff in our life, but that's where it all came back, was the Taco 3000, and that just meant it was like taco spectacular. It's going to just have everything. His sister told me something funny. She's like, because I was talking to her about cooking, and she's like, well, it's unbelievable. He's got 4 sisters. And he's like, out of all the, his mom, who's in heaven, is looking down, just saying, I had 4 daughters, and it was my son that got my love of cooking. So it's kind of funny. He's the one in the family that loves to cook, and I love to cook, and that's where Anthony and I spent most of our time figuring out the world. Give credit to my friend Bobby trying to cheer me up right after it all happened. He's telling me, if Anthony was here, he'd tell you, you did all you could, this and that, trying to cheer me up. And so, Bobby, I don't know. He'd probably tell you I worked him to death. I had him all day putting together furniture, tons of stuff, He probably, that would be what he would say to me. I'm going to miss you, Anthony. He's the first person I called when I knew I was going to have a baby. He was the first person I called when my father passed. I would send him a text almost every day for the last 20 years. I still can't believe he's gone. I still can't believe I've only known him for 20 years. I feel like I've known him my whole life. So, that's in itself is just wild. I didn't meet him until I was in my 30s. So any of you young pups out there, you might come across one of your best friends and, you haven't even met yet. So keep that in mind. You never know who you're going to meet. Never know the opportunity that's presented in front of you. So enjoy every moment. Thank you, Anthony, for everything you have done and everything you will continue to do for me. And I will love you forever. So if anyone else would like to come up and speak, the mic's yours. You can say something small. You can say something long. It's up to you, you know. I think Stephanie wants to come up and say a few words. And, you know, if someone else wants to, you're more than welcome.
Hey, hey. Yo, yo. Among many things, I will miss Anthony's double greeting. First, I really want to thank all of you. Patrick and I appreciate you, each and every one of you, your calls and texts, messages, pictures, sharing this event. For us all to be here together today really means more than we can ever express, so thank you. When I started dating Patrick, I learned that Anthony and Devin were bonuses to that package deal. I referred to that trio as 2.5 men. They were the epitome of bachelor. Not only was Anthony a bright light to Patrick, but Patrick reciprocated the same when Anthony needed a place to retreat and a break from the role of bar owner and host. Do you think that may have been the start of Anthony's infamous Cherokee fade? Or perhaps the birth of Where's Anthony? Back then, you could often answer that question by saying he was at Patrick's house, cooking, watching football, and raising Devin with a strong sense of what kindness, friendship, family, and love is. I know all of us had heard an Anthony story or two, and I'm willing to bet one of those stories were about his family. Family that I still can't group together correctly. You know, so many sisters, nieces, nephews, some greats, but nonetheless, he had a family that he was so proud of. You could actually walk away and come back and he'd still be telling the story. That can be said for any topic of conversation with him, actually. Likewise, we are all a part of Anthony's family, and I know he shared stories with them about many of us standing here today. Most of us know him as Uncle Tone. His heart for our families and children were unmatched. He usually snuck them a box of candy, asking parents for forgiveness instead of permission. He was such a big kid. Through all of our lives, Anthony sure did shower all of us with love and gifts in his very own unique way that only he could. As we're here today sharing memories and what Anthony means to us, we do ask that you help us preserve those memories by writing them on a card so we can send them to his family. They know how special this area was to him, and we want to send a piece of island comfort to them during this time. You're welcome to take one home, and we can collect that later if that's more suitable for you. Anthony, I love you, and I'll miss you every day. Cool. Layers.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. That was beautiful. Does anybody want to say any words? I know it's a little nerve-wracking, but if you want to just come up here and say you love them, you're more than welcome to. No pressure, though. All right, if not, I'll do the raffle. There we go.
before the Green Turtle opened, my wife and I were walking down the street, and it was like, wow, look at this cool place. Anthony's on the porch, and we're like, what's this about? And he's telling us all about it and his plans, and it's like, wow, that is really cool. He goes, yeah, come on in. Place wasn't even open. He gives my wife and I a drink, and we're sitting there chatting. He has all these plans, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to put license plates all up here. And I go, hey, I have my California license plate. It was the first license plate up towards the front on the left. It says likes to fly, LKS, to fly. And so I'm very proud of that. All right, Anthony.
Great start. Nice. I'm looking at y'all. All right.
Don't know how to work the mic. However, when I graduated college, I was working here at the pub when it opened. And this dude was the most kindred soul, I've come across many, but he was one of the most kindred souls ever. And he gave to the community, he gave to his employees, and he gave consideration to everybody around him. And for that, I love him. And he has, I think, has made an impression on everybody here, because I think that that's probably why you're here. Anthony Delucia. Tai? Kai?
Anthony had more friends than anybody I know around here. I mean, everybody here is his friend, obviously, but wow, what a testament to the community for all of you guys to show up today. It means a lot to everybody here. Anthony gave me an outlet to play music for this community. I wouldn't have done it if he wouldn't have invited me. I probably never would have DJ'd for anybody in my life, but the reason I play music, and Jim too, I would say, is because Anthony gave us the opportunity to, and we carried that on and always will for Anthony. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever worked for Anthony in one way or another? Quite a few of you, and I think that's something else that Anthony gave to a lot of us is opportunity to work, and we're all very much appreciative for that. Working for Anthony and Patrick too has always been a blessing. And one thing Anthony was never afraid of was to say what he liked, and he made sure to share all that with us. So thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Thank you to Anthony.
Mississippi.
In case you didn't know, they call me Mississippi Mike because I have been coming here forever. My parents, or Crooked Letter. My parents have retired here, and I've been vacationing here forever. And so I was the guy that lived in Mississippi that would come visit here. Because every fucking person that has the name Mike gets a nickname.
Too many mics.
Mississippi Mike was what I got, which evolved, strangely enough, to Crooked Letter or Sippy or Zippy or whatever. But that, the root of it is Anthony, because these guys, this whole island, they welcome you. You come here and everyone wants to. It's good stuff. But my favorite thing about Anthony was when it's time to go, you just dip out. And he called it the Cherokee Fade. If you ever knew it, it was the Cherokee Fade. And he did it again. He legitimately Cherokee faded us. So, Pat. He's only, that boy, yeah, he's in, he's in all our hearts. Oh, the old turtle shirts? Yeah, if you're lucky enough to have a hand on one of those. Oh, yeah. You know. Right? It's too cancer causing. Yeah. Tie-dye. Bad. No, but seriously, everybody, it's good to see the whole family here. Man, Anthony's in all of our hearts. And it's just, he bred the heart of coming in this island and being like hugging people and waving to people and being like, hey. That was my favorite part of this place. We're all friends, man. We're all friends. Amen.
Yeah, we are all friends. Exit stage left. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right. Cherokee fading over there. All right. Here's a brave young man going to come up here and talk to you. This is my son, Luke.
So I just wanted to say how much Anthony meant to me. I loved him so very much. But I know the Lord took him to a better place, so I'm happy for that. And I love you, Anthony.
Just in case you weren't crying hard enough. That's a tearjerker. All right, well, you know, in collecting Anthony's stuff, he had his merit badge still, a lot of his Boy Scout stuff. So he really identified with being a good camper, and you know how to make a good fire, and, you know, proper camping, and he loved the outdoors, and he loved the spirit of, you know, being outdoors. So that's why we're doing the raffle for the state park, 1 year for the state park, and that's only for 1 year. As my wife was thinking that she's like, we gotta get every year? No, just 1 year we're doing. it's not a reoccurring. But unbeknownst to you, we wrote down everyone's name that was here and put it in the raffle. So I'm gonna pick. This is the exact raffle box that we used at Dog Star whenever we gave away a skateboard from Eric Baker's surf shop. It even says raffle tickets on here, written by Anthony. So, I mean, what a better one to use. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Here, you can pick one. Just pick one and hand it to me. Ah. Well, that's a good winner. I did mention how he likes nature and everything, so I think it's fitting that the winner of this award goes to someone with nature in his name. I'm going to tell this young boy that when he's ever feeling like he's lost or anything like that, and he's missing Uncle Anthony, to go for a walk in Fort Clinch like he would, and you'll get some balance. The winner is Bird Jenkins. I don't know, Bird, if you're here, I'll get with you and get you that pass. So congratulations, Bird. Now we're gonna do a toast. Get your drinks ready, and the toast is provided by none other than Spade McQuaid. Spade used to play for us once a week. He's a one-man band and also had a full band. He's Irish, and we loved his accent, and we just loved everything about him. He's just a talented musician, and he knows how to play to the crowd, which is very important. So I asked him to record a Irish toast, and here it is.
for Anthony. A life well lived, a heart well loved. May the road rise to meet you, Anthony. May the wind always be at your back. May the laughter you shared, the kindness you gave, live on in our hearts forever. Until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Sláinte.